organizational viewpoint, one of the most fascinating examples of how any organization may contain many different types of culture is to recognize the functional operations of different departments within the organization. Departments and divisions within an organization will inevitably view any given situation from their own biased and prejudiced perspective. A department and its members will acquire tunnel vision, which disallows them to see things as others see them. A department and its members will acquire tunnel vision, which disallows them to see things as others see them. Very structure of organizations can create conflict. The very structure of organizations can create conflict. The choice of whether the structure is mechanistic or organic can have a profound influence on conflict management. Very structure of organizations can create conflict. The choice of whether the structure is mechanistic or organic can have a profound influence on conflict management. Mechanistic structure has a vertical hierarchy with many rules, many procedures, and many levels of management involved in decision making. Organic structures are more horizontal in nature, where decision making is less centralized and spread across the plane of the organization. Every structure of organizations can create conflict.
Excellent alternative to calming traffic is removing it. Some cities reserve an extensive network of lanes and streets for bikes, pedestrians, and the occasional service vehicle. This motivates people to travel by bike rather than by car, making streets safer for everyone. Become more popular in a city, planners can convert more automobile lanes and entire streets to accommodate more of them. Nevertheless, even the most bikeable city still require motor vehicle lanes for taxis, emergency vehicles, and delivery trucks. Delivery vehicles, a frequently a target of animus, but they are actually an essential component to making cities green. A tightly packed delivery truck is a far more efficient transporter of goods than several hybrids, carrying a few shopping bags each. A tightly packed delivery truck is a far more efficient transporter of goods than several hybrids, carrying a few shopping bags each. Distributing food and other goods to neighborhood vendors allows them to operate smaller stores close to home, so that residents can walk rather than drive to get their groceries. You hear again and again that some of the greatest composers were misunderstood in their own day. Not everyone could understand the compositions of Beethoven, Brahms, or Stravinsky in their day. The reason for this initial lack of acceptance is unfamiliarity. The musical forms or ideas expressed within them were completely new. The reason for this initial lack of acceptance is unfamiliarity. The musical forms or ideas expressed within them were completely new. Yet this is exactly one of the things that makes them so great. Effective composers have their own ideas. Have you ever seen the classic movie Amadeus? The composer Antonio Salieri is the host of this movie. He's depicted as one of the most famous non-Greek composers. He lived at the time of Mozart and was completely overshadowed by him. Now Salieri wasn't a bad composer. In fact, he was a very good one. But he wasn't one of the world's great composers because his work wasn't original. What he wrote sounded just like what everyone else was composing at the time.
comes along. Whether it's the invention of the printed book or TV or SNS, and you start to use it, it's like you are putting on a new kind of goggles with their own special colors and lenses. Each set of goggles you put on makes you see things differently. Each set of goggles you put on makes you see things differently. So when you start to watch television, before you absorb the message of any particular TV show, you start to see the world as being shaped like television itself. Every time a new medium comes along, a new way for humans to communicate, it is buried in it, a message. It is gently guiding us to see the world according to a new set of codes. It is gently guiding us to see the world according to a new set of codes. The way information gets to you is more important than the information itself. TV teaches you that the world is fast, it's about surfaces and appearances.
One valuable technique for getting out of helplessness, depression, and situations which are predominantly being run by the thought, I can't, is to choose to be with other persons who have resolved the problem with which we struggle. Of self-help groups. When we are in a negative state, we have given a lot of energy to negative thought forms, and the positive thought forms are weak. Those who are in a higher vibration are free of the energy from the negative thoughts and have energized positive thought forms. Merely to be in their presence is beneficial. This is called hanging out with the winners. Hanging out with the winners. The benefit here is on the psychic level of consciousness. There is a transfer of positive energy, relocking of one's own latent positive thought forms.
Our emotions are thought to exist because they have contributed to our survival as a species. Fear has helped us avoid dangers. Expressing anger helps us scare off threats, and expressing positive of emotions helps us bond with others. Fear has helped us avoid dangers. Expressing anger helps us scare off threats, and expressing positive emotions helps us bond with others. From an evolutionary perspective, an emotion is a kind of program that, when triggered, directs many of our activities. Fear makes us very attentive, narrows our perceptual focus to threatening stimuli, will cause us either to face a situation or avoid it, and may cause us to remember and experience more acutely. Regardless of the specific ways in which they activate our systems, the specific emotions we possess are thought to exist because they have helped us survive challenges within our environment long ago. If they had not helped us adapt to survive, they would not have evolved with us. If they had not helped us adapt to survive, they would not have evolved with us. With us. If they had not helped us adapt to survive, they would not have evolved with us.
By improving accessibility of the workplace for workers that are typically at a disadvantage in the labor market, AI can improve inclusiveness in the workplace. AI can improve inclusiveness in the workplace. AI-powered assistive devices to aid workers with visual speech or hearing difficulties are becoming more widespread, improving the access to and the quality of work for people with disabilities. Improving the access to and the quality of work for people with disabilities. AI can improve inclusiveness in the workplace. AI can improve inclusiveness in the workplace. For example, speech recognition solutions for people with dysarthric voices, or live captioning systems for deaf and hard of hearing people, can facilitate communication with colleagues and access to jobs where interpersonal communication is necessary. AI can also enhance the capabilities of low-skilled workers, with potentially positive effects on their wages and career prospects. For example, AI's capacity to translate written and spoken word in real time
workplace. AI can improve inclusiveness in the workplace. AI can improve inclusiveness in the workplace. Moreover, recent developments in AI-powered text generators can instantly improve the performance of lower-skilled individuals in domains such as writing, coding, or customer service.
Whales are highly fish at carbon storage. When they die, each whale sequesters an average of 30 tons of carbon dioxide. Taking the carbon out of the atmosphere for centuries. Taking the carbon out of the atmosphere for centuries. For comparison, the average tree absorbs only 48 pounds of CO2 a year. From a climate perspective, each whale is the marine equivalent of thousands of trees. Whales also help sequester carbon by fertilizing the ocean as they release nutrient-rich waste, in turn increasing phytoplankton populations, which also sequester carbon, leading some scientists to call them the engineers of marine ecosystems. The value of the ecosystem services provided by each whale at over 2 million. Economists called for a new global program of economic incentives to return whale populations to pre-industrial whaling levels as one example of a nature-based solution to climate change.